Okay guys, so no mucking about, we're getting straight in with this one. So we're going to start off by building up these little ladder frames, I'm going to call them, on the sides here. And these are going to make up the sides of our alcove, chimney breast, whatever you want to call them. So a bit of glue here to get these fixed onto the wall. And we've got underfloor heating in here, so we can't actually fix down. So we are going to be relying on glue to fix these to the floor. But I would suggest if you don't have underfloor heating, then getting a couple of screws down into the floor would be ideal. So we're going to be using the nail gun here just to get a couple of temporary fixings in here, just to hold it while we go along and put our actual proper fixings in. Walls aren't the best in here, they're just sort of like Celcon blocks, but you know, it will hold, it'll be fine. Even if I did do a terrible job of putting that raw plug in there, but it'll do. So we'll make sure to do a better job on these ones. That's how you should put a raw plug in. I said this thing isn't actually going to be load bearing at all, so the fixings don't have to be amazing, but we'll try and do the best job that we can, like we always do. And we'll get the other side up, so you can see what I mean here. We're literally starting to make up like the chimney breast, the fake chimney breast here. And you can see that there is actually a fireplace opening in the back there. Now that isn't actually a working fireplace at the back. This had like a false fire in it, so that was just a gap, so it could be sunk into the background. So there's no actual chimney breast in here at all. You can see when I'm nailing there that I'm nailing on the angle to make sure that I don't go into that underfloor heating at all. And then we'll just check with a square, make sure everything's nice and square while we wait for that glue to go off. Now with the header here, we can actually get a fixing up into the studs, or into the floor joist, sorry, from above. So a nice fixing into there. Couple just to hold everything nice and level. Now what the bits that I'm putting in here are actually going to be what holds the fire in place. You'll see later that this is going to be the opening for the fireplace itself, or the fake fireplace. And you can see here that I've covered up that back, the hole in the wall there. So I've just built up a bit of stud work, put a bit of insulation in there just to make sure we haven't got any cold bridging going on. But here we go, the little platform for the fire itself to sit on. And then we can start building the upper aperture for the TV, or opening for the TV, whatever you want to call it. We'll start building that up now. Now originally the customer said that they wanted it planted on the face, but I managed to talk them out of that because I think it looks a hell of a lot cleaner when the TV actually sits into the opening. So thankfully they went for that. This is going to be the backing piece. You can see that I've had all the sockets moved on the wall, and this is essentially what the framework is, so it doesn't need a hell of a lot because we're only holding a fire and a TV and a mantle. Now I'm putting a couple of temporary blocks on here, and that's just to help me get the mantle actually level. So I've struck a level line across there, and then I can just sit the mantle on while I fix it in place. Now I have actually oiled the back of that mantle just because I think it's important so it doesn't take on moisture at different rates, but getting a couple of screws in just to hold that from the back. It's not the heaviest mantle in the world, to be honest, but we want a good solid fixing, so fixing through the back like that's pretty good. Then we can start getting this all closed up. So we're going to be doing plasterboarding on this. I'm not going to do plastering purely for drying times. Basically plastering would have been, I wouldn't say a better option, but the more common option I suppose would have been that you would have gone with. But because of the drying time on plaster, I know it goes off pretty quick, but you still have moisture in there, and because we've got the TV and the fire, and this is obviously a customer's house, I wanted to get it closed up pretty quickly, so I went down the with easy fill route, and it come out fantastic, so I think I'll be going with that in the future. But there we go, just getting a bit of oil onto our mantle now, really bringing that up nice. You can see there's some like planer marks and that in it, and I didn't really want a nice clean look for this. I didn't want a square piece of timber. I wanted it to have a little bit of character in it, so but just enough. I don't like them when they look too rustic. There we go, getting the rest of the plasterboard on now, so we're really starting to take shape on this one. You can see I wanted the plaster to go round the mantle, so it really looks like the mantle's in there, and like it looks like the mantle's structural. On with the fire. Now I will link to a fire below, but it won't be this one. You can't actually buy this one off Amazon or anything. It's actually quite an expensive fire, but I've got a good one linked down in the description below. And then the final bits of plasterboard going on here. So you can really see it starting to take shape now. On with a bit of angle beads. Just using some letter G staples on this, 10mm staples. And there we have it. That's it all taped up and ready for, I'm going to call it plaster, but not plaster. I mean, you could plaster at this stage, but there you go. I didn't bore you guys with full filling. Like you can see there, I've already done one round of filling. So this is just the second, like, finer fill, if you like. I like to go with 3 fills on these just to make sure it's really nice and flat. So the plastering would have been quicker to apply it, but like I said, that drying time, for me personally, I prefer to go with this route. Give it all a nice big rub down. That's the beauty with that easy fill, it really rubs down nice and easily. And then we can get the skirting boards on. So I'm matched up with the skirting boards that they got in the rest of the property here, just to make it look like it's always been there. And I know I didn't show it here, but I have glued and pinned that, so I've been using a bit of no nails on the back of that, or sticks like actually. And then we're going to give it a coat of white here. Now ultimately they will be decorating this, or they've got a decorator coming in actually, but I like to give it a coat of white here, just as sort of like a proofing coat. So once you wipe this all out, it really shows up any imperfections in that filler. So I give it 2 coats all told, but I've only shown 1 coat here on film. But yeah, like I said, just when it dries, it really shows up any imperfections that you've got in that finish. Being a customer's house, I really like to make sure that I'm doing the best that I can. And there you go, it's shown up what I need to fill. So this is the 3rd and final fill on this. Doesn't take long. I think, you know, that this whole section that you've seen here took me a day with drying times as well. So, oh no, I did show myself doing a 2nd coat of paint on there. Didn't think I did. But yeah, ultimately it's a different colour to the walls, but the walls really do need to be decorated anyway. And we can get a final coat of oil on there. And then start getting the TV installed. I'll have this bracket linked up down in the description. I think it was from memory about £25 off Amazon, somewhere around there, £25 to £30 off of Amazon. So a real solid but affordable bracket I use on all of my builds. And then we get the TV on, which was not fun on my own, I'm not going to lie. It was a little bit squeaky bum moment. But there you have it. That is the full thing built, and you can see I've got really good taste in YouTube channels. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you on the next one.